Hi, I am Dev. I'm a PhD candidate at School of Computing in NUS. In this video, I'll be presenting multitask learning with user preferences, gradient descent with controlled ascent in Pareto optimization. In multitask learning, a model is trained to perform multiple tasks. In this type of learning, internal representations are shared among all the tasks. When the tasks are related in some way, this technique works better than just individually learning the tasks with separate models. Usually, training is done by minimizing a weighted combination of the task specific losses. Here, RJs are the preference weights for M tasks. Now, what is the role of these preference weights? They set different priorities for different tasks. This is useful in the context of multitask learning because by sharing the representations, the tasks are forced to compete with each other. This happens because training for individual tasks leads to different optimal models. So a user can specify the trade-offs between different tasks through these preference weights. If a task needs more attention, then its preference weight can be set higher and subsequently the loss value will be lower during the training. So the weighted addition of losses is called as linear scalarization, which forms a single objective for training the model. In 2018, Senner and Colton used a multi-objective optimization approach for multitask learning and empirically found it to be better than the linear scalarization approach. In multi-objective optimization, the objective function is vector valued. Here I'll briefly explain some concepts of MOO through a simple illustration with two objectives, L1 and L2. The parameter theta belongs to a high dimensional solution space, and let's say the vector valued objective function maps to this pink region in the 2D objective space. Now let's pick three random points in Rn which maps to these values in the objective space. In this example, the square point is a better solution than the circle point because both of its loss values are lower. So we say the square point dominates the circle point. But not every pair of points are comparable like this. Here, neither the square dominates the triangle nor vice versa. In a minimization problem, all solutions corresponding to this bold line are optimal in a sense. Because if we pick any solution point from this line, then it is not dominated by any other point. This type of optimality is called Pareto optimality. And the set of all such non-dominated points is called Pareto front. Another feature of this type of optimality is that no two points on the Pareto front are comparable, like the triangle and square are not comparable. So here we don't have just one optimal solution, but infinitely many of them. The optimization solver used by Senner and Colton finds some point on the Pareto front, but it does not find a preference specific point. By preference specific solution, I mean an optimal point where the weighted loss values are equal. Because in the context of minimization, higher preference weight should correspond to lower value of loss. So the loss vector is inversely proportional to the preference vector. What does this mean geometrically? It means the intersection point of R inverse ray and the Pareto front is our preferred solution. The simple linear scalarization can find this preferred solution, but only when all the loss functions are convex. But that's not a good news because in the world of neural networks, we hardly get an objective that is convex. So in this work, we propose a search algorithm that can find a preference specific solution even for non-convex objectives. So let's see the issue of non-convex objectives using a toy experiment with two objectives. This experiment was originally used by Lin et al. Here we compare four MOO solvers on their ability to reach a preference specific solution. In this figure, the solid curve is the Pareto front and the dashed lines represent different user preferences. As you can see, the linear scalarization solver cannot find any Pareto optimal point except the extreme ones. The MGDA solver, which was used by Senner and Coulton, finds an optimal solution depending on its initialization. This method does not take user preference into account. In 2019, Lin et al. Proposed Pareto MTL method, which uses users' preferences, but only to improve the spread of the optimal points. It cannot find a user preferred point. We propose EPO search, which not only improves the spread of the optimal points, but can also reach to the exact preferred optimal point. But before going into our algorithm, let's first see how MGDA solver works at a high level, because we use some of its ideas in developing our solver. So here is a template for any gradient based solver. In every iteration, we update the parameter theta by moving against a search direction d by a small step size eta. For single objective minimization, this direction is basically the objective gradient, so that the loss value will decrease. When there are multiple objectives on the other hand, the search direction is computed by using all the m gradients. But how does this search direction work in the objective space? The MGDA solver takes the current iterate LT and moves it towards the Pareto front. The direction D is computed such that LT plus 1 always dominates LT. That's it. That's the idea behind MGDA solver. Use multiple gradients to find a search direction that can decrease every loss value. But we noticed a shortcoming in this type of search direction, due to which the solver cannot reach a preferred optimal point. From here onwards, I will show only the objective space, because it's easier to explain that way. But do remember that the real action of moving a point happens in the solution space. Now let's see what's wrong with a search direction that decreases every loss. You see, every point in this darker shaded region dominates LT. You can think of this region as if the cone of negative quadrant is pivoted at the current loss vector LT. So by enforcing a simultaneous decrease of every objective, the search direction is restricted to be only inside this negative cone. But why is this an issue? Let's say the user preference is such that the preferred optimal point lies outside this shaded region. Then, no matter how many iterations we do, we will never reach to the preferred point, because the restricted search direction will never allow the loss vector to come out of this pivoted negative cone. Not even with an extreme search direction, which cannot decrease some of the loss values. Like here, L2 is not reducing while iterating. But had we allowed L2 to increase, it would have come out of this negative cone. So it is clear from this illustration that we have to allow a few loss values to increase, so that our algorithm can reach the preferred solution, irrespective of any random initialization. In our algorithm, we find a local search direction that does controlled gradient ascent to increase some of the loss values. Finally, let's see how the local search direction is found in our algorithm. We still use a descent direction like in MGDA solver, but when it's useful. For example, if the loss vector is very close to the R inverse ray, then it can reach the preferred point. We measure the closeness between the R inverse ray and the loss vector by a function mu. Intuitively, it measures how broad a conical region is required around this ray that can contain LT. In particular, mu is 0 when LT lies exactly on the preference ray, and it increases as we move away from it. So if mu is low, we use the all descent direction for local search like in MGDA. But what to do when it is far. In this scenario, we first compute a balancing direction dbal, uh, which is basically designed such that moving against this direction will increase some loss values and decrease the others. This is kind of a balancing act. But how does it work on the objective space? The local movement created by this direction is always perpendicular to the loss vector and faces towards the R inverse ray. In fact, we proved it theoretically that moving against this balancing direction guarantees that the loss vector will move closer to the R inverse ray. So we use this dbal to find our local search direction when LT is far from the preference ray. We do that by solving a linear programming problem. The objective is to align the search direction with dbal as much as possible. We put some constraint to control the ascent so that the iterations do not diverge. We formalize this with another theoretical result, which says if we perform an iterative search with this EPO directions, we are guaranteed to converge to a preferred optimal point. So that's pretty much the idea of our algorithm. For a detailed explanation, you may refer to our paper. Let's see how our algorithm reaches to the preferred optimal point. Here I use the same toy experiment with two objectives, which I showed in the beginning. This figure shows how both of them varies in case of one-dimensional solution space. In 2D case, this is how the losses grow isotropically. Similarly, in higher dimensions as well. The results I'm going to show are obtained by experimenting on a 20-dimensional solution space. But before that, let me specify different regions in the solution space where the solver was initialized. We partition the solution space into two regions. The purple region from -1 to 1 and the points outside this set. This region generalizes to a square in 2D and a hypercube in a higher dimensional solution space. The Pareto optimal solution lies inside this hypercube. First, let's see the case when initialization is done randomly inside this hypercube, which is near the Pareto front. The dashed rays represent different user preferences. So 4 preferences, 4 trajectories. Color of the trajectory indicate which preference was used to obtain it. As you can see, in every case, our algorithm first moves closer to the preference ray, then descends to the preferred point. We also compared our method with the recently proposed Pareto MTL method. It doesn't reach to the preferred solution. Next, let's see how both methods perform when initialization is done outside the hypercube, which is far from the Pareto front. Finding a solution in this type of initialization is hard because you have to overcome the local minima of the less preferred objective. But due to the control ascent property of our algorithm, it overcomes this hurdle and traces the Pareto front to reach the preferred point. But the Pareto MTL method doesn't do that. So we can use our method EPO search to trace the Pareto front as well, which is a general application in multi-objective optimization problems. We can do that by changing the preference vectors one after another and using the optimal solutions as the initializations. In this figure, the solution of blue trajectory is used as initialization for the yellow one, and the solution of yellow one is used as initialization for green one, and similarly for the red one as well. Notice that if the user preference ray does not intersect the Pareto front, like here blue and red rays are not intersecting, then our method finds the closest possible solution. Here is another example of tracing the Pareto front in case of 3 objectives. Both middle and right figures are showing same trajectories from different viewpoints. Here we start at a randomly initialized blue point and iteratively trace the Pareto fact. Finally, we tested our method for multitask learning. Here there are two tasks: digit classification and apparel classification. Datasets for both the tasks have 10 classes each, and we used cross entropy losses for both. Now let's see how do the losses look like after training. Again, the dashed lines represent different user preferences. Results from EPO search, Pareto MTL and linear scalarizations are indicated by stars, triangles and squares respectively. Color of a point indicate which preference was used to obtain the result while training the model. The baseline indicates the loss value if the tasks are learned individually. Actually, the baseline is the best a model can do. As you can see, our method attains those results with blue and purple points. Also, the losses of EPO search are closer to the preference raise. Now let's see how are the accuracies. Here we see the EPO search is at the frontier among all the solutions. It also achieves as better an accuracy as the baselines. So in conclusion, we developed a gradient-based solver for multi-objective optimization that has theoretical guarantee for convergence. It does gradient descent with controlled ascent, due to which it not only finds a well-spreaded optimal solution, but also can reach to user preferred optimal points from any random initialization. We empirically found it to be better than the state-of-the-art solver for multitask learning. Computationally, our algorithms scales well for larger networks with many tasks. One can also use this algorithm to trace the Pareto fact. To know more about these results and applications, please read our paper. And thank you for watching the video.